Welcome to a special report from the Don Smith Show. I am back again with documentary filmmaker, AmericaWorking.org founder, Mr. Burt Keefer. We're talking about America's Great Wall. Burt, again, the most comprehensive video I've seen. Great work. I want to get a little bit more into this because I think people don't really understand what is meant by high traffic areas and low traffic areas. We'll get into a clip of the video here in just a minute, but just give us some brief information and some background on how you came up with some of this information and the difference between low and high traffic areas.
Well, in 2016, Sheriff Babu and Brandon Judd of the Border Patrol Union Council came and publicly announced that the government had been lying to us over the last 16 years. So the Border Patrol on our southern border has a capability of about 1.6 million arrests per year. They only have been arresting 333,000, but they've been putting on their website that they've been arresting 1.6. The Bush administration and the Obama administration both ordered high traffic areas, which there's about 15 of them, that if the Border Patrol went in there, they would be fired. If they didn't like it, they could quit. So these high traffic areas are all on the southern border where the fence is open. And that's the main reason why the fence is left open. And over the last 16 years, there has been an additional 22 million illegal aliens entering our country that should have been arrested, that wasn't arrested.
So we're talking some pretty big numbers here, and I'd like to go, let's take a look at some of the clips on this as far as when we look at what it really means to have a high traffic area and what that could mean for the infiltration into this country.
Here's another way of looking at our southern borders. Notice all the openings between fencing and barriers. That's not done by accident. It's done for the sole purpose of leaving high traffic areas open for illegal alien crossings. Some politicians argue fences are not necessary since our borders are secured by a robust team of Border Patrol agents. However, according to Border Patrol Union Council President Brandon Judd and Sheriff Paul Babu, who on March 8, 2016, revealed that both Presidents Bush and Obama's administrations ordered Border Patrol agents to be assigned to low traffic areas and stay out of high traffic areas. And if they went into those areas, they would be fired. And if they didn't like it, they could quit.
So as you all just saw from the video, you can see we're talking some pretty big numbers here, and you can see the impact of high traffic areas. But I don't think people really understand the total volume that we're talking about here. As you kind of mentioned in the last segment here, we talked about it's a lot bigger than people think. Give us a little bit more on that, Burt.
Well, in my previous video, America No Documents Needed, I took everything that our elected officers and candidates all said publicly, along with the Border Patrol, and I did the math on it. So when they talk about that we're only apprehending 1 out of 7, what does that 1 stand for? So if you go to the U.S. Border Patrol apprehension chart, it tells you what 1 stands for. So it's about 1.6 million is what they're capable of arresting. So if they're only catching 1 out of 7, that's 6 times 1.6 million. So that's 8 million illegals enter the country that year. And they call them gotaways. So that's how many gotaways.
That's incredible.
Big numbers.
Big numbers. And that's really based on just the data that we have available to us. So I think when we look at it deeper, there's a lot of unknowns involved in this that would possibly balloon those numbers even higher. Yeah,
especially when they were flying them, trucking them, and busing them in and all over the country. So those numbers could have went up tremendously. The truth is we really don't know. There's no accurate data. There was no Border Patrols out there filming it, counting it, none of the above. But we do know the influx of what we arrest and what they get away. But in our country today, that our government has been telling us for the last 15, 20 years, there's only 12 million illegal aliens. The truth of the matter is we have over 100 million illegal aliens with children from 75 different nations.
One of the things we recently found out that the Pentagon has diverted some funds, $1.5 billion actually, to help this president build this wall. Let's talk about this a little bit, because I think this is really comes down to kind of the crux of the issue. Is some say we don't need this wall. Some say that we should just, it's not really that big of a problem to spend this kind of money and put up a secure border. Tell me, why are you so passionate about the need for the wall? What is your case to make for why we do need one?
So when you're talking about the influx of contraband and drugs coming into this country, and it's over a $350 billion a year industry, and that was based on 24 to 28 million people who admitted to daily drug use. And we know we're in the 100 million mark. So it's probably a $700, $800 billion a year industry. It's the #1 income for Mexico.
Yeah, and I think another case, Burt, here where maybe those numbers are much larger. I mean, that's just the data you talked about, the number of admitted drug users.
Right.
Certainly there's some who aren't in that category as far as being admitted drug users. So I think this is why it's so important, everybody, to watch this video, americaworking.org. Get the facts. This video is packed full of information. It's a very educational film, but it really makes a strong case. And I want to get back to this because I think this is really a key issue here. We keep hearing comprehensive immigration reform. Burt, if they can't agree on a wall, how do we ever get beyond or get to the point where we're at some kind of comprehensive immigration reform?
Well, that's a real fancy word they use. And what it truly means is they want amnesty, DACA, and they want the Democratic vote. And that's what it's all about. It's all about another person from another country that has no sweat, no blood, no patriotism in this country, and they will vote for what they get for free and have no idea what our government is about and what we stand for. And then we as American citizens are voted out from illegal aliens outvoting us in our own country. And that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. So, Burt, what would you say? What would you recommend to the average American citizen who's as concerned as you are about this issue? What can we do to help? How can we get involved? What is the best course of action here?
Well, there's a lot of things we can do, but the main thing we need to do is we need to support our president. And we need to no longer be spectators. We need to get off the couch. We need to get out there and be right by his side and fight hand in hand with him. And what we can do as voters is when the president talks about draining the swamp, is clearly understand what he means by draining the swamp. And these are people on both sides of the political party that will come out and tell you that they're for closed borders and we got to do this, we got to fight for this, and we're gonna win. And then behind the closed doors, they don't even vote for it. We need to go and recall these people and put them out of business and get new blood, new patriotism to stand with our president and fight for our southern border and the security of our country.
So it sounds like you're saying we need to stop making this just simply a campaign issue.
Exactly. We got to make it a life or death issue because our country depends on this. If we're outvoted in our country, we will never have this country back again. It's impossible to ever win by power of voting in our own country. So that's how important it is. Life or death.
And it's life or death for many people in this country, especially those living at the border. Folks, get off the couch. Watch this video. americaworking.org. I'm here with Burt Keefer, americaworking.org founder, and also Keefer Productions. Burt, great talking to you.
Thank you. God bless.